The pencil tool allows you to easily draw free-form paths as a basis for your artwork. The possibilities are really endless with this tool, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at how this tool works. Now, I'm beginning this video with the sky.ai file already open on my computer, and I thought this would be a good way to kind of demonstrate how the pencil tool works. And we're going to start by creating some very rudimentary clouds for our sky here. Now, the pencil tool is located right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that tool to make it active. And the pencil tool is a very free-form based tool. Now, before I go too far, I should point out that the default cursor for this tool, as you can see, is like a pencil with a little asterisk next to it. And this could be, sometimes people like this, some people don't. So as you're drawing, if you want a more precise cursor, simply turn on caps lock on your keyboard, and that'll give you more of a X to give you a target. So whichever you prefer is fine. Now with this pencil tool, it's fairly simple to use. As I click and drag with this tool, I can really draw whatever shape I want. And if I come back to where I started, it's going to close that particular path. And as you can see, it has drawn a path, and from here I can fill it, I can change it in whatever way that I wish. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete that for now, because I want to show you some of the options that we have available. So if I double click on the pencil tool, you're going to see that it's going to bring up the pencil tool options. And so we have fidelity up here at the top, and this controls how far you have to move your mouse or stylus before a new anchor point is added to the path. And so you can experiment with these, but basically the higher the value, the smoother and less complex the path is going to be. And then you have a smoothness value, and this controls the amount of smoothing applied when you're using the tool. And the higher the value you use here, the smoother the path is going to be. So it all depends on what you're trying to draw. So you may want to make adjustments to this. Now because my clouds I'm going to have kind of sharp corners, I'm going to leave these values set to their defaults. But the one thing that I'm going to make sure that I do is turn on the Fill New Pencil Strokes checkbox. In addition, I can choose whether I want the path to remain selected after I draw it. And I can also choose whether I want the pen tool to edit selected paths or not. Now down here at the bottom where it says within so many pixels, this basically allows me to choose how the pencil tool is going to interact with an existing path. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this set to 12, but the narrower, the smaller I go, the closer I need to be to that path for it to be affected. So we'll go ahead and leave these settings as they are, and I'm going to go ahead and click the OK button. And so I'll show you how this is going to work. Now before I start drawing this time, I'm going to go ahead and make sure my fill color is active, and I'm going to change the fill color to white. And you'll notice that if I draw a similar shape to what I did before, that now this path is filled with the white color. Now, because of the options that I have chosen, you can see I have a little bit of a notch right here. And so with the path selected, if I kind of click on that path and draw over that area, it's going to reshape the path. So, you could click on any of the paths here and kind of make some adjustments to reshape how that path appears. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And I'm just going to draw kind of a basic cloud here. I'm not trying to be too detailed, but I want to give it a little bit of a look here. That one looks pretty good. I'll just maybe retrace over this to reshape that path. Now if I hold down the Command key on Mac or the Control key on Windows, I can move this path because it temporarily activates my selection tool. And I can continue drawing. Maybe I want a cloud to look a little bit further away. Looks pretty good. We'll kind of move that over here. And maybe we'll draw one more. You can see how this pencil tool works. Now in addition, if I click and hold on the pencil tool, I also have the smooth tool. Now what I'll do is I'll make one of these active, and the smooth tool's job is to smooth out complex shapes. So if I draw back over this, you're going to see it's going to try to basically reduce the number of points. And these are pretty smooth shapes that I've drawn here, so it's not going to change it too much. So maybe what will help is if I do more of a exaggerated shape here. So there we go. And now if we use the smooth tool and I draw over this area, you can see how it's smoothing out that path. And I should point out that you don't have to use this on a shape that was drawn with the pencil tool. You can actually use it on any shape that you wish. And then underneath there, you also have the path eraser tool. And the job of this tool, you can see it's kind of flipped upside down. And so if I click and drag over a path, it's going to basically remove the path at that location. And so to a point where I can just pretty much erase the whole thing, but it has to be selected before you use this. So depending on the shape you have, for example, if I draw like a rectangle or something, you could use this path eraser tool. And if I just wanted to erase one side, I could just kind of click and drag across that side, and it actually erased that path. Let me do it on the bottom. It'll make it easier to see. And so you can see I erased those two sides of the path. Now, I also encourage people, I'm going to actually draw a rectangle down here at the bottom. And let's go ahead and fill this with a greenish color, because I really like to use this pencil tool to reshape existing paths. So if I wanted to create kind of like a horizon here, between the grass and the sky, so I'm going to click and drag where this path starts, and I'm just going to create a new path for the top of that. You can see that basically reshaped that object. And if I'm not happy with it, I can click here and drag and pull this up a little bit more, and that'll reshape that in a different way. So you have a lot of flexibility when using the pencil tool as well as the smooth and path eraser tools to get the job done. There are so many ways you can use this tool. Hopefully now you have a better understanding of how it works and how you might be able to use it to create your own artwork as well.